I will call this meeting to order. I will confirm that we have quorum. Item number 2 on the agenda is the land acknowledgement. As we gather this morning, we acknowledge on behalf of the Township Whitewater region and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history, and we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of Indigenous peoples who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Item number 3, I'm asked councillors present if they have any conflict of interest of a pecuniary nature. The minutes will reflect that there are none. Item number 4 on the agenda is the public meeting portion, and 4.1 is an application for consent, and we have a recommendation from the planner, Alex, and I'll read his recommendation as a motion. Therefore, be it moved that the Committee of Adjustment for the Township Whitewater region approve the proposed rural cluster lot development, files number D-10-258, D-10-259, D-10-260, D-10-261, and 262 and 263 for the property described as Westmeath Concession East 6 east of Muskrat Lake, part of Lot 20, known municipally as 1782 Westmeath Road, subject to the conditions outlined in this report. A mover, please. It has been moved by Councillor Tabbert, and therefore, since it has been moved and on the table, planner, please give us the rationale for your recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor. All right, so the present application is for a proposed rural cluster lot development. The application was submitted by Dugan Hawkins for the property known municipally as 1782 Westmeath Road. The purpose of the specific series of applications is to create 5 new residential lots, plus 1 other lot, which will be the private road for the cluster lot development. The first lot for this cluster lot development was actually conditionally approved in the at our previous Committee of Adjustment meeting. So later in the next file, I'll be amending the conditions associated with that severance so that all the severances are aligned. All the conditions for the severances are aligned. Sorry, someone's having, I feel like there's I hear a phone ringing. Oh, it's me. There we go. Yeah, it was here on the side here. Sorry about that. My apologies. Okay, so in the report there, I've laid out all the dimensions of the lots. I will spare you that level of detail here. So the subject lands are approximately 18.3 hectares in area, and they include a mix of vacant fields, significant woodlands. There's also a deep ravine on the lands, which contains an intermittent stream, so significant valley lands. And then there's an area of the property that enters into 120 meters of a provincially significant wetland, which is located towards the back of the property. So if approved, these applications will close out the development potential for the parcel. So when reviewing the application, I look at three main planning documents. The first one being the provincial planning statement. So I can say straight off that this application does comply and is consistent with the intention of the provincial planning statement. So one of the areas that is relevant here is the section in the statement that relates to rural areas and municipalities. So the statement does support the development, that respects the rural character and utilizes rural amenities. And another relevant section is the rural lands and municipalities. So very similar, but different in that. So in addition to development that respects the rural character, it also should be compatible with its surroundings, and as if we're satisfied that private water and sewage services are feasible, then this is the type of development that we want, which is the case in this situation. So the last section of the PPS that is relevant here is the natural heritage section. This section directs us to protect significant natural heritage features. As I mentioned, the subject lands here have significant woodlands, significant valley lands, and a portion of the property within 120 meters of a provincially significant wetland. The proponent did submit a favorable environmental impact study that concluded that the proposed development will not result in negative impacts to the features. So the report also makes several mitigation or a few mitigation measures. And so a condition of this report is of the severance, if approved, would be that the EIS be registered on title and the associated recommendations adhered to. Another document that I examined was the official plan. So the proposed cluster lot development complies with the official plan. The official plan, under the official plan, the lands in question are designated as rural, and there is a portion of the lands that are designated as for environmental protection. The rural designation allows for low density residential development that's compatible with the rural character, similar to the PPS. It also directs us under the environmental protection that no development occur in the environmental protection areas, and this is in fact the case with the present application. Another section of the plan that's relevant here is the natural heritage section. So again, there wasn't a favorable EIS support submitted with this application. And as previously stated, a condition of this report will be that the EIS is registered on title and that the recommendations are adhered to. And then the last section of the official plan that is relevant to this project or to the application is the cluster lot development section. So 16.3.1 of the plan provides a unique set of policies to allow for what's called a rural cluster lot development. It allows for up to 5 new lots plus 1 retained lot, resulting in a parcel with no more than 7 lots. So as we see here, it allows for that to be created through a process of consent. There are some minimum standards that need to be met before a lot is eligible for this type of development. I've listed them there in the report, and I can confirm that the lot does meet those requirements. As I previously stated, if approved, these consents will close out the development potential of the parcel. Okay, finally, we have the Township Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw here. So the lands are zoned rural and environmental protection. So the rural designation allows for a mix of low density rural uses that maintain the character of the area. And as I've stated, this is what's being advanced in the present application, and no development is being proposed in the environmental protection zone. So therefore, the application complies with the zoning requirements. The zoning bylaw also sets out that we need to comply with the minimum distance separation that is provincially mandated. So the proponent did provide the necessary information for me to carry out an MDS calculation for a few, I believe it was 2, one nearby a livestock facility, and the application, the proposal has the development occurring well beyond the setback. So the planning rationale here is that this is the first time this policy has been used in the township. It's a new policy, so it's kind of exciting. so in this example, we are taking a large lot that was being used only partially for agricultural, and we're now converting it into like a rural development. So this is exciting. It's a good thing for the township. So the proposed development maintains the rural character, respects MDS requirements, and is supported by private servicing. And with the recommendations in the environmental impact study, will mitigate any potential negative effects on the natural features. So I have recommended to the committee that the application be approved. I've listed here several conditions. Some of these conditions stem from the policy itself. Like I said, we'll be updating the conditions of the previous severance to reflect these same conditions here. And I will note that the conditions specific to the private road are slightly different. So the applicant, if approved, should take note. The strategic plan. So this proposal supports the departmental strategic plan and the departmental work plan by continuing to support the development within the community. In terms of engagement, this present application was circulated in accordance with the Planning Act, and no comments were received. Following assuming that the application is approved and there's no appeal, the lands will be reassessed eventually by MPAC, and that will lead to increased tax revenue for the town. So the next steps will be to vote on the matter and inform the applicant of the decision.
Thank you very much, Alex. Now, I will ask if there's any member of the public in attendance that wishes to make a comment with respect to this application. Hearing none, is there anybody online that wishes to speak?
There's none.
Thank you, clerk. And then I would ask council members, any comments you wish to make about this application, please. Councillor Tabbert.
It's not so much about the application itself. It's just a general question, but it pertains to this. And that's, we've had other developments come in and like big properties, and we split them and we do them one by one by one by one. Why is this one different that we have to do it, that we're doing a cluster? Why aren't they all clustered then if there's more than 3 or 4?
I would say because well, first of all, this set of policy, this policy is new. So previously it wasn't under the old OP. This would not have even been an option. If you wanted to do more than the 3 lots at one time, essentially you would have to go into a plan of subdivision process, which would have been handled through the county. In this instance, I would say that because the developer knew they wanted, like they intended to pursue this policy, it allowed them to create more lots in one shot without necessarily going through the full plan of subdivision process, which is considerably more onerous. So this, hopefully going forward, the idea would be that landowners who own larger pieces of property, who don't want to necessarily develop a tightly packed subdivision, and they're willing to, because the rules state like the lots must be quite large. There's a maximum amount. So if that's a type of development that someone wants to bring forward, then this is the best way to do it. But I'm not sure if that really, I don't really know, like I can see from your face, I'm not answering your question. So maybe.
So they have the option of doing it one by one by one by one, or a cluster, or a subdivision, plan of subdivision.
Essentially, yeah. But the idea here though, is that the developer knew that they wanted to do all of this.
But what if the developer or the person who owned the property knew they were going to do this, but opted to do it one by one by one by one?
So the benefit of that, well, the drawback on that is that as you go one by one, in theory, the OP lays out an increasing amount of requirements to be met in order to move on.
Okay.
So this is allowing them, and then the benefit for the township is that we're saying, okay, it's done. This lot, we're good, we're over, or well, it is done.
Right.
So that's the benefit of this policy. But you're right. An individual could still choose to go one by one. So it is kind of a matter of conscience. If you know you're going to be developing the whole lot, then that's the more appropriate. That would be the more appropriate way. But I can't force, if I don't know, if I'm not aware of what if I'm not aware that someone's planning on developing multiple lots, then I can't offer this as a possible solution for them. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments? Go ahead, Councillor Olmsted.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Just a question on one of the conditions.
Yes.
Let me get to it here. Under number 4, item B, ensure that houses are set back 100 meters from the nearest public road.
Yes.
Now, is that pretty standard in the?
That's specific to this policy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just looking at that diagram that was up there previously with the measurements on it. Yeah, that one. So does that include the newly constructed road? Would that be considered?
No,
part of
that the road. So if you, in this drawing here, I believe the applicant showed that 100 approximate location of that 100-meter.
Oh, that's
So that is roughly where it would be. So
it's only from 100 meters from the county road then?
well, in this case, it's actually
Township.
Lovers Lane. It's from the county so the property fronts onto 2 roads. It fronts onto the county road, Westmeath, as well as Lovers Lane. So the private road's going to come off Lovers Lane. But any public roads, so whether that be the county or the municipality, the setback needs to be, there's 2 options. You either maintain a vegetative buffer I can't remember what the distance is, but there's a distance associated with that. And then there has to be an agreement registered on the land that would prevent them from cutting those trees, or you do the 100-meter setback. In this case, the land had already been cleared, so we have the 100-meter setback.
Great. No further questions. Thanks.
Thank you. If I may comment,
Sure.
I think this is wonderful. It's the first application under our new policy.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that I'm really glad this is happening. I'm hoping that there will be, now that it is happening, it's an option, and it promotes good development.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about this happening. Now I've got one question though, planner.
Yes.
The item number 6 in the same area where under conditions that the owner prepare a joint use and maintenance agreement. Now this is going to be a private road. And in the past, there have been problems with private roads with respect to the maintenance and the upkeep, snow plowing and everything else with respect. Is this agreement going to be registered on title so that future owners realize that they have a responsibility, a shared responsibility to maintain this road?
Yeah, that makes very good sense. And so in response, yes, I can add that in. It can be registered on the title. That makes a lot of sense. Additionally, the road will be held, like the future owners will be part owners in that 7th lot in the road. So
Right.
In theory, they will also have financial, hopefully, investment into that road and a reason to kind of keep it well maintained. In addition to the fact that, yes, there will be this private road agreement. So.
Right,
Or
because
the maintenance and standards agreement, pardon me.
yes, because somehow this has got to be enforceable.
Yeah.
Because I have known situations where the group gets together and decide they want to put some gravel on a road, and one person doesn't agree.
Right.
And doesn't contribute. And then there's a problem. This is the reason why there's a restriction on development on private roads. And I think this would overcome that. So I'm hoping that this could be, again, the first owners are all going to agree to this. It's the third owner down the line that
Oh, right. Yeah, I see what you're
may
saying.
not
Yeah.
see things. So I'm hoping that is something.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, Chair. if we want to add that to condition, can we do a friendly amendment through the firster, the mover? Thank you, sorry. Oh, is it already on there? Oh, perfect. Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
exactly. yeah.
okay.
Sorry, it is there.
Okay, so that's just to confirm that. All right. I think my question was to make sure
Yeah,
that
yeah,
that
fair
was there.
enough. And I am affirming it will be there.
Okay. All right. Any other comments, concerns, questions? If not, all those in favor? The minutes will record that it was unanimous.
Perfect.
Agenda item 4.2, again, another application of consent, and the recommendation will be read as a motion. Therefore, be it moved that the Committee of Adjustment Township Whitewater Region approve a consent application D-10-255 for the property described as Westmeath Concession 6 East of Muskrat Lake, part of Lot 20, known municipally as 1782 Westmeath Road, subject to the conditions outlined in this report. A mover, please. It's been moved by Councillor Olmsted, and since it is now on the table, Planner Alex, could you give us the rationale for that
right.
application?
Sorry, this is for the revised conditions, correct?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Okay. I don't really have a report. I presented the report. The report is the same as it was before. The only thing I'm changing are the conditions. So I've spoken with the applicant, and they are aware that the conditions are going to be amended here in this meeting, and the conditions. This is for lot 1 of the cluster lot development that was approved last meeting. And so the only thing to note is that the conditions have been struck from the original report, and then I've added in the new conditions to reflect the rest of the cluster lot development.
Okay, thank you. Is there any questions from the gallery about that change? And there still is no one online. Council members, any comments about what we're doing here? No? Therefore, I'll ask for a vote. All those in favor? It's again unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 4.3, another application for consent. Again, the motion will read that the Committee of Adjustment Township Whitewater Region approve a consent application file D-10-244 for the property described as Westmeath Concession North Front A, part of Lot 12, 622 Westmeath Road, subject to the conditions outlined in this report. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Olmsted. The rationale for this recommendation, Planner Alex.
Thanks very much. So the present application was submitted by Simon Kasperzak on behalf of Don Parsons, who's the owner of 622 Westmeath Road. The proponent is seeking to create one new residential lot. The dimensions of the lot are listed there in the report. So the concerned lands are bordered by Mill Creek to the south and surrounded by agricultural lands with residential uses as well. There's also areas of bushland close by. The severed lands also contain single detached dwelling, and it can be characterized as relatively flat with an area of environmental protection towards the back end of the lot bordering the creek there. The retained lands include significant woodlands and valley lands, and as well as some areas of environmental protection, and a portion of the retained lands falls within 120 meters of a provincially significant wetland. All right, so as with the previous application and with the next one, I confer with 3 documents. The first one, the provincial planning statement. So the provincial planning statement supports the development of rural communities in a manner that's healthy and viable. And that also leverages the rural assets. And the present application aligns with that vision. The PPS also directs us to take measures to protect environmentally sensitive areas and to prevent development in areas identified for environmental protection. So given that there is no new development being proposed on the severed or the retained lands at this time, the present application won't produce negative effects on the environmentally sensitive features. So if the proponent wishes to move forward with further severances on the retained lands, however, I've informed them that an environmental impact study would be required, but I waived it for the present application because the development's already complete. Okay, so the next document that I conferred with was the official plan, the county's official plan. This application aligns with the official plan. So the designation is primarily rural with some areas identified as environmental protection towards the back end of the lot. Again, oh, pardon me. So the OP allows for light development in light and low density development in rural area on rural lands. And again, also directs no development in areas that are that have environmental protection. However, development can occur close to areas of environmental protection as long as there's no negative effects. In this case, there is no development. It's already occurred. So we're good there. The land division policies of the official plan allow for 3 lots from the original holding. So the applicant has determined that Mill Creek is a natural severance. So this means that the present lot had only had one, the original holding had only had one severance done. So this would be severances 2 and 3 if approved. Again, the natural heritage. So the retained lands do contain a seasonal stream and some as well as an area designated for environmental protection. No changes in use or site alteration are proposed at this time. So an EIS was not required. Again, if they want to do further severances on the retained land, one will be required. Natural hazards is another area of the plan that, or of the plan that's relevant here. So the proponent or portion of the severed lands is considered to be at high risk of fire. The development has already occurred, but I am going to require that the applicant fill out the wildland fire form as a condition of this consent. And then also, if they choose to do further severances, that would be required for those severances. So the subject lands also are characterized as having inferred karst. Again, the development occurred, no karst inspection required. As with retained, if they want to sever, they will be required. Okay, so the comprehensive zoning bylaw is the last document conferred with here. So the proposed this application aligns with the zoning bylaw. The severed lands or severed and retained lands are zoned rural, and the area around Mill Creek is zoned for environmental protection. The present application conforms with all the zone requirements for rural, and no development is being proposed in the environmentally protected area. And then there's also a setback from a provincially significant wetlands, and this application respects that. So in terms of the zoning bylaw, the application complies. So the planning rationale here is basically the present application complies with, it doesn't contravene any of the policy documents that we work with around land use planning. And the retained lots are appropriately sized and appropriate for their intended use. And there won't be any burden placed on municipal services. So I've listed out some conditions there for the applicant to comply with in order for the severance to be granted if approved. In terms of the strategic plan and Department of Work plan, this application continues the good development within the community. In terms of engagement, the application was circulated in accordance with the Planning Act. I did receive one comment from our treasurer indicating that there is some taxes owing on the property. And so a condition of this report is that any outstanding taxes be paid. And we're suggesting, or I am recommending that actually become a standard condition in all consents going forward. That if there are any taxes owed, you got to pay it. Essentially, makes sense. Yeah, so that is a condition in this report. Financial implications for the townships. For the township, following the severance, the properties will be reevaluated by MPAC, and new tax amounts will be assigned. So we are creating new lots that would lead to increased tax revenue for the township. So the next steps is for you to vote on the matter and for us to, for myself to notify the applicant of the decision. And thank you very much.
Thank you, planner. So now I'll ask, are there any comments from the gallery? Hearing none, I'll confirm there's no one online.
Correct, there's none.
Thank you, clerk. Okay, council members, comments, concerns, questions, please. I have one, and I have to apologize, Alex. I should have noted this prior to the meeting,
Okay.
but now I have a concern. Since this application is, to my way of thinking, stretching the idea of boundary.
Okay.
That's fine. But now I notice, have we created a landlocked lot?
Yes, I know.
What is this now?
So that land, I would not, I did not, basically before the application was accepted, I told the applicant that if this in fact is a natural severance, that they need to convey that land to someone. And if they could prove that the land was conveyable, I would accept the application. They did convey the parcel to one of the owners on the lot of the lots there on Hyla. So I do have to reach out to, there may be further planning steps there. I haven't spoken with the property owner, but there may be further planning that a planning application that will need to come forward to merge the lots, because the lots were created through consent, so they don't automatically emerge. So even though they're both the parcels may be held in the same name, they don't automatically merge due to the fact that once a consent is created, that physical form of the lot is always there. So there will be a planning application to merge, or sorry, it wouldn't be a planning application. They would just need to go through, oh no, they will need to cancel. They'll need to cancel their severance with us, which is in a planning act application. And then they would need to go through the legal means to get the lots merged.
So just to follow up, we can still go ahead with the approval of this application.
Yeah.
That doesn't interfere with our decision today.
No, it doesn't, because I have accepted that the creek is a natural severance. So the original holding, so the landlocked parcel in theory was created years ago when those lots off of Hyla were created. So it doesn't affect our current application, and because the lots were never, they have always been two separate lots.
Okay,
Two
I'm
separate
satisfied.
parcels, I should say, parcels.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with that, and thanks for the explanation. With that, all those in favor of the motion, please indicate, and it will be recorded as unanimous. Okay. Item 4.4. Again, an application for consent, and the motion is that the Committee of Adjustment Township Whitewater Region approve a consent application file D-10-257 for the property described as Ross Concession 4W, part of Lot 11, 1321 Colesmith Road, subject to the conditions outlined in this report. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Tabbert, and the rationale for this recommendation, Planner Alex.
Great, thank you. So the present application was submitted by Matthew McLaren for the property known as 1321 Colesmith Road. The proponent is seeking to create one new residential lot. So in the report, I list the dimensions of the lot. So the severed lands contain a single detached dwelling and are characterized as relatively flat and fringed by forested areas. The retained lands are also relatively flat, have rocky and or can be characterized with as having rocky outcroppings. There's also significant woodlands and valley lands on the retained lands, including areas of wetland. The concerned parcel is surrounded by agricultural and rural lands with some nearby residential uses. Okay, so no surprise, I referred to 3 documents when analyzing this application. The first one is the provincial planning statement. As with the other applications, the PPS does support viable development in rural areas that respect the rural nature and leverage local assets. Okay. So the PPS also requires for the outline, gives direction for the minimum distance. I put it wrong there. The minimum distance separation as opposed to the minimum separation distance. There is a farm nearby, a livestock facility, and so a condition of this report is that the applicant provide me with the information for that livestock facility. This would be more of a matter of crossing T's and dotting I's since the development's has already occurred. And no new development is being proposed. But in any case, I would like to have the information for our records. And the PPS also directs us around natural heritage. So there are significant valley lands as well as the significant woodlands on the property. And but again, as the development has already occurred on the severed lands or the proposed severed lands, an EIS was not required, and no negative impact to environmental features are foreseen from permitting this designation or this severance. The OP, the designation of the land is rural in the OP, and the stream that runs through the land is considered to be an area of considered to be an area for environmental protection. So the already existing development falls in line with the intention of the rural designation, which is low density residential development or just development in general. And the areas identified for environmental protection are not affected by the present application, as no development is being proposed there. Okay, so the land division policies. So the county allows for 3 lots to be severed from the original holding. If approved, this application or this lot will be considered to be the 3rd lot off the original holding. I've already mentioned the point about the MDI, the minimum distance separation. I will need that information from the proponent. But again, it's more for records as opposed to as the developments, the development's already occurred. Again, natural heritage. Since no development is being proposed, the present I didn't require an environmental impact study. Yeah, and then for natural heritage, the area is noted as having high and extreme, having high to extreme wildfire risk. So I am going to ask that the proponent provide the wildfire assessment form to me for the retained lands as a condition of this report, as I didn't get that in the application stage. So for zoning, the severed lands are zoned rural, and the retained lands are rural with a portion of environmental protection. If approved, the Pleasant application will comply with the requirements for the rural zone, and no development is proposed in the environmental protection area. So from a zoning perspective, the application is compliant. And again, separation distance, the zoning bylaw enforces that, reiterates that. And as I stated earlier, I will need the information for the livestock facility located across the street. All right, so the planning rationale for this application is that it doesn't contravene any of the policy documents that we consult with for land use planning. I've laid out a series of conditions here that will ensure that the MDS and the potential fire risk is being assessed. So the application, it's appropriate. It's a good size of land that it's larger than most lots that are being created recently. So this is with the exception of the cluster lot development. And yeah, I believe it's good development for the township. So the application was, let's see. Sorry, guys. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong report here. Okay, the report was edited by the CAO afterwards, and I see that there's been some information here about that. Oh yes, it's so that if there's any outstanding taxes, that will need to be paid before the severance can take effect. So my apologies, I just had to quickly review that part of the report there. But yeah, so if there's any outstanding taxes owed on the property, that will need to be paid prior to the severance being becoming official. In terms of financial implication, the two properties will be reassessed afterwards, which will result in increased revenue for the township. And the next steps on the matter is to vote and then advise the applicant of the decision.
Okay, thank you very much, planner. Now we do have the applicant in the gallery. Mr. McLaren, would you like to speak on behalf of your application?
Just with respect to the MSDs, is that something that has to be submitted for each new application, or is the one that was submitted for the initial building permit sufficient?
I'll refer you to the planner.
That's fine.
There should be
Yeah.
one on file for when we build.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So that condition's already satisfied once I move it from one folder to the other.
Okay,
That's it.
Thank you.
is that it? Again, no one online, so we'll go to council members for your comments. Mr. Olmsted.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I was going to ask the same question, as I know that there was a lot was severed previously. And just to confirm, is it the farm to the, I guess in this case, the north that the calculation goes against, or to the?
I thought it was
east
that
or
livestock
west?
facility right there, right across
Okay.
the street.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, if we have the MDS information on file, that just didn't occur to me. Like I just, yeah, it makes total sense that we'd have it on file for the building permit. So, yeah.
Okay, satisfied. And I guess the other one, just a comment that I have regarding the 3 lot severances. I think it used to be 4 plus the retained land, which was 5, correct?
I don't know. I can only speak to the policies as they are presently. So at the moment,
Right.
it would be 3 plus the retained.
Right.
Yeah.
And when is that as of? I see 1971 in.
Yeah, so well, it's considered to be so it's the original holding as of 1971. So in this case, the two, like these lots, the
Right.
original holding was this.
Sure.
And so this 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess just a personal comment that nothing towards the plan or whatsoever, but towards the policy. And I've made this comment over the years that it's an archaic policy in that I could have 10 acres and sever whatever, now it's 3 lots or 4 lots, whatever. Or I could have 1,000 acres and I still only get the same number. So it really restricts development in rural townships when you really adhere to that policy. I know there's a lot of workarounds and sure there's ways to go about it, but
I think,
in its essence, it is an archaic policy to say that somebody can only have X number of, not regarding the total land holding.
yeah, I can see where you're coming from. I think the idea behind it is that if you know, or if you, it's not ideal to go 1 lot at a time.
Sure.
That's essentially what we're trying to avoid. And so if you know that you are going to be developing, if in your mind, you know, you want to develop that whole lot, then ideally we would rather just get it all out,
Sure.
plan it all out. So with this rural cluster lot development, this could be a potential way forward for people with larger lots of land. It's a much lower level of burden in trying to what's needed, and the process is much faster. But yeah, you're right. When you have a massive lot and you can only do 3 lots off of it,
Right.
what are we gonna,
Right.
you're still left with a huge amount of land.
If I may, Councillor Olmsted, I think that I might have some clarification that you can confirm. I believe it's automatically 3 lots, but you can also go to 5.
Yes.
But after you go past 3, then there's going to be some studies required just to ensure a hydrogeological study is what would be required, just to ensure that there's enough water for everybody and enough places for the septic to drain.
Right.
And so really it's 5.
Well,
With
really,
the
Yeah,
study.
more
yeah.
than that. There's a path more for more than 5 as well.
Sure.
Yeah, and so that's, I think, what it is. It just requires more, but this is provincial policy statement. It's not, it's coming
Yeah.
from there.
Yeah, no, I'm aware, and
Yeah.
that's where my comment stands. And
Yeah.
on the other side of the coin, it's a great mechanism that we have for that cluster lot development.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Mhm.
It should have been here 30, 40 years ago. So anyway, we're
Yeah.
a small baby step.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything, Councillor Tabbert? Then in that case, I'll call for a vote. All those in favor of the motion? It is carried unanimously.
Perfect.
Thank you. Yes.
Do we have to alter anything with respect to the MDS, or you can?
No, I'll just consider that satisfied.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. With that, we need to now confirm past minutes. And usually we would confirm them all at once, but we can't this time. Clerk Miller informs me because we weren't all at the same meetings. And so we can't all vote on these minutes. Mr. McLaren, you don't need to stay for this. I'm sure you have better things to do. But thanks very much for your attendance.
Take care.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for some assistance from the clerk with respect. First of all, we'll do the minutes for October 17th. That the committee.
Sorry, if maybe we can just note that first off, maybe we can just note first off that who was away, and then you can read the motion because then they know ahead of time that they can't. So the first one, and regrets right there.
All right. Thank you, clerk. For the first minutes then, Councillor Olmsted had submitted his regrets. Okay, that Committee of Adjustment approved the October 17th, 2024 minutes. All those in favor? We need to move it also? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Thanks, clerk. I therefore would move that motion. All those in favor? Unanimous. Okay, thank you. 5-2, that the Committee of Adjustment approved the January 16th minutes. And I was not present for that. Therefore, a mover, Councillor Olmsted. All those in favor? Approved. Now, the Committee of Adjustment approved the February 20th, 25. Councillor Olmsted submitted regrets. A mover, Councillor Tabbert. All those in favor? Approved. 5.4, that everybody here. Thank you. That Committee of Adjustment approved the March 2025 minutes. A mover, Councillor Olmsted. All those in favor? Approved. I declare this meeting adjourned at 10:51. Thank you.